If you're training first thing in the morning and you're doing it fasted, you're doing yourself a huge disservice. You just did an 8+ hour fast, so because of that, liver glycogen is low and there's no amino acids flowing through your bloodstream. Weight training causes muscle damage, and we need amino acids to repair that muscle damage. And if we don't have that readily available, it's gonna pull from other muscle tissue to meet the demand. That means that you're costing muscle in order to stimulate that growth. The overnight fast also depletes your glycogen, and we're gonna wanna replenish that before training because that glycogen is the fuel that we're gonna use during that session. So if you're expecting to have a high performance without glycogen, it's just not gonna happen. You don't need a full breakfast, you just need to replenish glycogen and provide some amino acids to offset that breakdown during your training session. You're training first thing in the morning, so we need this to happen fast. So we're gonna use primarily liquids and fast digesting carbs. For carbs, we have a lot of options. You're gonna scale your carbs based on your goal. So if you're cutting, you're gonna be using less carbs. But if you're growing or you're bulking, you're gonna be using more carbs. But you still wanna be using the majority of your carbs around your training. And if you're training first thing in the morning, we're gonna want that to be fast digesting. So using something like a juice, like an orange juice or a pomegranate juice, is gonna be readily available super quickly. We can also work things in like pineapple, and we can also use things like, say, the cream of rice, which you could pair with your protein powder, and you could even put a little honey on there. And honestly, fruit of a variety is also gonna be a really good option. What we don't wanna do is bog digestion down with a bunch of fiber or fat. So what we want to avoid are things like veggies, our potatoes, nuts, nut butters, our oats, brown rice, bread. These are all legitimate carbs for later in the day, but we don't want to put them immediately before training, especially if you're training first thing in the morning. All that body weight you lost overnight, it was water, and you need to replenish that before you train. So somewhere between 20 and 50 ounces of water, depending on your body weight, is totally reasonable. And we're gonna pair that with some electrolytes to actually hydrate the cell. Now we're gonna want sodium and potassium. Potassium typically we're gonna get from potatoes and leafy greens, but the thing is, it's first thing in the morning and we don't wanna use that pre-workout. So that's when I'd recommend using an electrolyte supplement that's also high in potassium. I'm not sponsored or anything, but Relight's a good one, LMNT, or even Liquid IV. This meal is all about supporting performance and protecting muscle. The protein is going to protect your muscle, the carbs are going to protect performance, and using liquids is going to allow that to be readily available quickly, first thing for your training session. If you're trying to build a high level physique, follow for more value.